This is a Headgum podcast.
Here? Am I here?
You can be wherever you want.
Okay.
It's your choice.
All right.
House or chair?
Here I am.
Oh.
Is
Okay.
this not right?
Well,
Okay.
Let's, we'll do... No, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm late, so I'm bringing frantic energy with me.
Well, calm down. Now, somebody's going to be coming in here shortly with a cappuccino that I ordered simply because I was bored. One of those is your water.
Thank you so much.
And so don't pay her any mind. Pasadena. So you live in Pasadena?
I live in Pasadena.
How you liking it?
It's good. It's very pleasant. It's very residential.
Mm-hmm.
There's like an old town where you can walk around and look at furniture samples.
The old, the old, you know how old towns you could walk around and stuff. Now you can't do it in the modern age.
Now you just got to scroll through them on your phone.
These fancy things. Okay. How long have you been out here?
Oh my gosh. Well, this is funny because it's exactly a year and a day since I moved here.
So if I had asked you yesterday, it would have been a
It would
cleaner
have been
answer.
a year, but I'm not a liar, David. I know this is a gotcha podcast,
right?
But
you don't want to exaggerate.
It's a year and a day.
A year and a day. And you're liking it.
I'm liking it. I was a little burnt out on New York when I left.
Yeah.
I I'm
understand.
not built for the hustle or the bustle.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from the suburbs of Washington, D.C.,
Okay.
Northern Virginia. But I feel like when I say Northern Virginia, people are like, oh, Virginia, Charlottesville. And I'm like, no, Northern Virginia, we seceded.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Just because I'm down there a bunch for work and stuff. But it's quite different.
Yes.
You know, there are a handful of states where California is one of them where the top part is vastly different than the bottom part.
Yeah. I would say that most people too.
The top part of some people are different than the bottom parts.
Than the bottom part.
Well, what with all these trans people? Sure.
Oh no, David, we can't.
Yes.
It's on my rider. We can't. There's certain words you can't say.
I can't say trans.
You can't
transitioning.
No, you can't say people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what should I use instead? What should we use instead?
I guess grape.
Grape?
Yeah.
And then what do I call a grape?
A long bean.
A long bean. That seems a little clunkier.
A round bean.
Well, you have allowed me to segue seamlessly into this. So this is an issue.
I had a direct eye line.
This is an issue.
Great.
So here are the grapes that I've mentioned numerous times.
Okay.
What camera should I go to? Yeah, right there.
Why were they down there, though?
Oh, thank you, Aparna. Thank you. That is the question that I have raised each time because I saw them initially, and I was like, "Why don't you have them where you can see them?" They're like, "Oh, it's on the wide shot of one of the cameras," and it's like hidden. They've hidden it in this dumb Lucite 70s furniture thing. So this is it.
Yeah.
It's purely.
When I first saw them, I thought they were on timeout.
Yes. I'm going to put them back on timeout. So these are the grapes. Guess what, Anya? I didn't bring it up. I did not bring it up.
I thought maybe
not even into the podcast. And Aparna brought it up.
Get them out. Do you want me to remove them?
Thank you very much.
No, I thought they were on timeout for stealing focus. Because it's hard to compete. I mean, that's a juicy set of grapes.
To catch you guys up, or Casey was here, but to catch you up, Anya, we can't say the word people. If we're going to say people, we need to say grape, and if we want to reference a grape, we have to say long bean, as per Aparna's writer.
Great.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you very much. Aparna, do you have anything to plug? Anything that you want to talk about?
Oh.
Not talk about, but, mention for the folks at home. This will air in 2025.
Should I plug that I'm planning to take time off in 2025?
Oh, for sure. So people don't get worried.
So I would say maybe don't look out for me in 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where will you not be appearing?
I'm going to take my website down. I think I'm going to start and stop a TikTok on Jan 1. And then I assume there will be a new platform by then.
Yeah.
And you will not be able to find me on it.
What are you going to do?
I think, what do most people do when they take time off? I think I'm going to be with my family, think about my mistakes. Maybe, I don't know if I want to have kids, but maybe if someone will let me raise their kids for like a year.
Well, that seems like a lot of work for not much payoff. The raising kids part.
Are you saying that in general?
Yes. Not just you specifically.
Yes.
I imagine you'd be a good.
But everyone keeps telling me there's nothing else like it, so it feels like something you should try, like skydiving.
That's not true. I'd say raising kids is exactly like skydiving.
Okay.
And also,
that you're strapped to another person.
Yeah, and you're plummeting.
Okay.
You're always going down,
and you're not sure if you're going to live.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how you pack your chute, and that is a euphemism. Now, I think, I have a daughter, and I would say, yes, there's nothing like it exactly, but I'll tell you what is a close approximation is if you have fish. If you have a fish tank. It's very much like raising a child.
But, so would you say you've had fish and then you had a daughter and you're like, wow, literally identical experiences?
Reverse. I had a daughter, and then when she was about 4 or 5, to tell, like 5 years old, I think, because she had said she wanted some fish, and to help teach her, responsibility.
Yeah.
We got fish.
Okay.
And it's been so successful that every 5 days I change the water in the fish tank, and I add some bio stuff to let the tap water be free of its chemicals.
Yeah.
And and then every 3 weeks do a filter change and clean the fish tank and recycle the water and the filters and really good.
You're doing all this?
Yes, that's that's how I've taught my daughter responsibility.
Okay. Well, I think you've been.
She doesn't do a thing with the fish.
This is an industry term, hosed.
Yeah, I think maybe she got the better of me in that one.
I always think that when parents are like, "Oh, are you going to walk the dog?" I'm like, the kid is not going to walk the dog.
I say that. It's interesting to bring that up because for her birthday, which is, by the time this comes out, she will have had it, but it's next week.
Okay.
And for an early birthday present, we got her a dog because the dog that I had for 15 years before I even met my wife, we had to put her down, and my daughter took it much harder than we expected her to.
Yeah.
Like significantly. We didn't. It was a big deal for her, and we didn't really think that through. Not that it would have changed anything, but and then we've been talking about getting a dog, and I felt I'm very much a dog person, and my wife's a cat person. And she's also allergic to
dogs.
To a lot of different things, but also dogs and dander. And she went and got tested, so we had to get a bred hypoallergenic dog.
I imagined bread when you said bread.
Yeah, it's a it's called, her name is Toasty, and she's heated up bread in the shape of a dog.
Yeah.
And I put a little voice box in there.
The same feeling as a dog. It's comforting, warm.
Yeah. And I mean, it's we probably shouldn't have used brioche bread because it's a little crummy, And then if it gets wet, it gets mealy. So, and I've never understood, and it angers me when people. It's kind of going away. It was a bit of a fad for a while, but people have hamburgers on brioche buns, and it's stupid.
Why would they do that?
They do. A lot of people do. And I'll say, do you have any other kind of bun? No, we have brioche buns. Well, I'm not interested.
You're right. Brioche has really taken over in a way that is like, when did we say yes to this?
I never said yes.
I never said yes.
And I will, a hamburger should be on either a potato bun. That's
bun
optimum.
Is never
and
wrong.
Then perhaps a kind of like seeded roll.
Something that
like
can stand classic, up to it. Like if you see a drawing of a hamburger, seeded roll.
Yeah.
Brioche. Isn't brioche sort of like just like a couch if it was bread? Like it's very lumpy and sort of like soft. Am I thinking of the right bread?
I don't know about lumpy. It's usually, you know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like challah bread, a little bit.
Yes, okay.
So that it doesn't stand up if you have a juicy hamburger.
Yes.
The bun side that's on the hamburger gets all mealy. And it's I don't know. There's
a lot of food experiences right now that if you don't eat it within 2 minutes of it being served, the entire premise falls apart.
Give me an example.
Like a brioche sandwich.
Right.
Immediately mealy.
But I mean, the second half of your hamburger is going to be mealy.
Yeah.
If you've got a good, proper, juicy hamburger.
Yeah. I was thinking of brioche French toast. I feel like brunch restaurants.
Well, it works for French toast. It's great for French toast. That works because you have to, with French toast, you have to, not sop up, but you let it sit in the milk for a good 5 minutes in the milk and egg mixture so that it gets through. Ideally it gets through the whole piece of bread, and then you fry it up or toast it up or whatever. Not toast it, but griddle it up.
I knew we would get to a point in the podcast where there's just something we're not going to see eye to eye on.
Okay.
And I think this is it.
Should we start the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brioche French toast, I feel like restaurants are always pushing it like this cool thing they thought of, and it's fine. It's fine.
It is. I agree. I like, I'm not a big fan of, like multigrain seeded bread, but when you have French toast and it's multigrain seeded, that's pretty good.
That is
pretty good. It gets a little chewy. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the texture.
I like a chewier bread as well. I guess we're back on the same page.
Okay, good. But I would trade all of that in for a good biscuit. Like I'm a biscuit guy. Hey, Virginia, you must have had biscuits growing up.
I love a good biscuit.
Yeah, biscuit.
Biscuits are so dense that it feels like when you start it, you're in one phase of your life, and then when you end it, you're in a different phase of your life.
What are those two phases?
Like before, you're like, okay, maybe I'll go to the store today, maybe I'll go to the bank, and then you're done with the biscuit, and you say, I'm done.
It's time for a nap.
I'm done.
If you've had a good biscuit.
Yeah.
And what do you put when you have a biscuit?
Ooh, sometimes butter.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have to have much more than butter.
No,
but
you shouldn't. But
I will take I'll take a sausage cheese biscuit. I also prefer or enjoy just a big piece of bacon on there. Just don't need anything else. No. Don't have to mess with bacon is fine. You don't have to mess with it. It's just bacon biscuit.
I don't eat bacon, and I have to say that the vegan or vegetarian options for bacon, they're getting there, but I don't know if they're there yet.
Yeah. I wouldn't know because I eat bacon.
A lot of them are too soft to be bacon. You need a crisp.
Yeah.
You need a crunch.
Do you not eat bacon for health reasons, for religious reasons,
I've been a vegetarian since I was 13? Is that a teen? That's a teen, or is that a preteen? I guess that's a teen.
Well, the latter half of the word kind of clues you into what.
Don't mansplain this to me. I think I did a report on factory farming, and that kind of got me
that'll
off.
do it. That'll do it.
Got me off the stuff.
Do you notice a difference in your health?
I'm often iron deficient.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. And so is that it's you're vegetarian, so that's all meat. Are you pescatarian? Do you eat fish?
I don't eat fish. I eat eggs, and I still eat dairy.
Okay. All right. So a lot of the biscuits still you're able to have.
I'm still in on biscuits, yeah. Though now there's so many vegan restaurants really pushing their vegan biscuits. Would you eat a vegan biscuit?
No. Why would I?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not a vegan or vegetarian.
Yeah. But now the whole thing with vegans is like you won't even be able to tell.
But you can tell. Aparna, you can tell.
I can tell.
Yeah, not the royal we, but we can all tell.
I don't know though. A vegan biscuit, I don't know if I could tell.
Well, what would that? I mean, it just wouldn't have butter, right?
Yeah, it would have vegan butter
and milk. It wouldn't have milk, so it would have what, almond milk or some bullshit. Ugh, almond milk biscuit. Why even bother? You totally put me off my meal. When I was a kid. I grew up in Georgia. And when I was a kid, I was I swam, with swim teams and stuff. And after practice, there used to be a place called I don't know if you had any in Virginia, but called the Hickory House or the Old Hickory House or Ye Old Hickory House, something like that.
Oh, it was like a chain. I don't think we had
a small chain.
Yeah,
not there were a handful of them, but it was all Southern stuff. And I would get, after practice, which was pretty grueling, we had a really good team, and we were like number 3 in the state or something like that, and our coach worked us really hard, and but after practice, my reward would be going to get a bacon biscuit from Old Hickory House, and it was the best, those thick slices of bacon. Crispy, but also chewy, and it was just the bacon and the biscuit, in the middle of the biscuit.
And no spread?
No spread.
What?
You don't need it. I mean, some of the bacon grease kind of gets in there.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's
good. I miss that.
Can you not have it anymore?
I don't think the Hickory Houses are around anymore.
Oh, man.
I mean, I go back to Atlanta all the time because my family's still there, but I haven't seen one.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's like when a restaurant, I mean, you're saying the whole restaurant is gone, but even when restaurants take stuff off the menu, it feels illegal.
You take it personally? It's a slight?
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, we had an agreement that I could come here and order this thing. Why would you just take it away?
And not notify you first.
And
right.
Yeah. It should be a warning you get on your phone like Flood Watch.
Yeah. An Amber Alert.
Yeah.
For when the dish is off of the menu.
Yeah.
What can you,
even just
like
a type of sandwich? Now I can't think of anything, of course, because there's too much grief around those memories, but I would say even like an ice cream flavor, like a place might have some kind of special flavor they invented and they're like, oh, it's gone.
Yeah. Seasonal maybe.
Well, it's seasonal. They're telling you it's temporary, but I'm saying they had it and people loved it, and then they were like, "That's enough."
This is for real. There's on Myrtle Avenue in Fort Greene. There's a what's called Putnam's Pub. Putnam's Pub, and they would have trivia night, and a bunch of us would go on every Wednesday and play trivia, and the whole bar. Place. And they have food, and they had this thing, cheeseburger rolls, which were like an egg roll with cheeseburger in them. So it was like almost like a, just chopped, like a chopped cheese, but it was inside of
like an egg roll, right?
Like an egg roll, yeah.
Huh.
And they, we'd always get them, and then because they're really good.
Yeah.
Then, how would you know?
Well, I like cheese and I like an egg roll wrapper.
But what about the meat?
I blanked out the meat.
And they were good. We'd always get them. And then we showed up one week and they were off the menu and we were, and not just us, like all the tables. We're like, hey, where are the cheeseburger spring rolls, I think they called them. And they're like, oh, they took them off the menu because the chef said they were, a pain in the ass to make or something like that. What? And enough people, myself included, bitched constantly that finally, after like 6 weeks, they put it back on the menu. So that is all to say you should start bitching at these places.
That I feel like that's the time we live in now. It's like people power. Great power.
There you go. We'll cut that out. We'll cut that.
Great power.
That was close. That's your own
rule. I know, it's my own rule.
Yeah.
I feel that was like when they got Betty White to host SNL.
Was that because people wrote in?
Grapes.
Was that because Grapes wrote in?
Grapes, yeah. They started a Facebook group.
Huh. Is that for real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that makes sense because I would assume she was a good host.
Yeah, I think she was great, but it was all because the Grapes wanted it.
Great power, man.
Yeah, great power.
I'm enjoying the thought that some people are coming into this late.
Yeah.
And just hearing us talk about Grapes, being able to having a write-in campaign to get Betty White to host.
And you know how that works. Then there's a comment, I don't know what the hell this podcast is.
Yeah.
Wait, I had a thought and then, what was it? Trivia. I was going to ask, because I've always wanted to do trivia, but I don't feel like I'm good at it. Do you know what your role was on the team? Because I feel like each team has like different people playing different roles.
Yeah, I have I know, I can tell you what I wasn't. And we have, there were two people that were exceptionally good at hip hop from 90s up. Really good at knowing, because there would be musical clues.
Yeah.
So they'd have the question, and then they would play two songs, the first of which would be a clue. But they also had they told you at some point in the contest, the quiz, whatever, there'll be a red herring song that has nothing, doesn't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
So it kind of fucks with you. And you don't know where it's going to come, and they don't reveal it either. But so we had two people that were really good at that. One of them was also very good at basketball stuff, like knew all kinds of basketball stuff. I'm pretty good with most sports. I'd say baseball by far.
Okay.
And literature and geography. I wasn't that great at science questions, but literature and geography I'm pretty good at. And then also kind of some historical stuff. Oh,
that's good. That's a wide range of
we had a good team because we had different people
for different
things. Yeah.
I just can't figure out what my thing would be because it wouldn't be sports. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be history.
What about meat substitutes?
It wouldn't be hip hop. I don't even know if I'm well versed. I can say a couple.
Well, Aparna, think of something. Like you must have. What do you bring to the table?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think random facts.
Well, they're all random facts. I mean, then you'd be the queen of trivia.
But I don't have an area. I just know one random fact like from different areas.
I bet you do have an area, and you just need to.
I want to say science, but I don't think that's true. I think I'm being racist to myself.
Okay. What about pop culture?
No.
Okay. What about awards? Whether it's Emmy or Pulitzer?
Definitely not.
Okay.
I know Bob Dylan won a Pulitzer. See, that's one fact.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
that'll be it.
Okay, well.
So I know one fact per category. Is that helpful?
What about, did you go to college or university?
I did. I went to Amherst College, liberal arts school.
Sure. That's a bunch of hippie chicks up there.
No, well, Amherst is the one that used to be all male, and then they made it co-ed. But you're right, it is near Hampshire, which I think Eugene Merman went to, where they don't have majors and Smith, and that's all hippie
that whole,
chicks.
that's like Berkshire's, right? Around there? Yeah. I think I've done some shows there.
Yeah.
And Roger Williams, that's another one that's over there, right?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Is that right, Roger Williams?
I think Mount Holyoke, Smith, UMass, Hampshire, Amherst. Those are the 5.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of further there. If you go further west in Massachusetts, like Berkshire region, there's a bunch of
Roger Williams.
Maybe not Roger Williams.
I immediately thought of the Paint, Sherwin Williams, and then I was like, "Is that his brother?"
Yeah, Roger and Sherwin, and Sherwin was always jealous of Roger's name. Like, you got the much better first name. Because everybody would shorten Sherwin's name to Sure. So he'd say something, and they would say Sure sarcastically, and he would take it as an affirmative, and then got in all kinds of trouble.
That's rough. No wonder he went into paint.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was colorblind. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah. Just a roll of the dice. Lucky.
How did he like help choose the different colors? He just went with his intuition?
Well, no, he would blindfold himself, spin around 3 times, and then point.
Okay.
And initially, all the colors, like now they have a million colors with a million different kind of ethereal type of names. And
right.
But he would just go like green, greenish, dark greenish, light greenish. And so everything was ish. He only had 3 paints to begin with.
If you
he had Bronzeberry Frost.
Do you think you could be a color namer? Because I think you know how sometimes people are like, if you weren't a comedian, what would you do? And now I think I would be a color namer. I usually say a librarian, but now I'm going to say color namer.
All right, hit me with some.
Okay, I'm looking at this couch.
Yeah,
and I'm going to say it's greedy green.
Greedy green.
Greedy green.
And but you shouldn't be a furniture namer because that's a chair.
No, I meant the color of it.
Yeah, I know. You refer to it as a couch, but that's clearly a chair. So don't name furniture.
What is a couch? At least 2 cushions?
At least 2. Minimum 2. You're starting bare minimum with 2.
What about 48 cushions? Is that a couch?
Pit group.
Okay.
That's a pit group.
What would you name that pillow color?
This right here?
Yeah.
Stinky pink.
Oh, God.
You know.
That feels NSFW.
Well, that's where your mind is. No, it's stinky because I don't know what you're thinking of, but it's stinky because people put their asses on it.
Okay.
Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot, you mentioned something. Oh, I wanted to ask, what did you major in when you were at
psychology?
Okay, so psychology is a subject that never comes up in trivia, so maybe you'd be good at that.
Yeah.
Jung.
Does Jung come up in trivia?
All the time. What? Yeah, where I go. Yeah.
Wow.
It's called Jungian pub quiz. And everybody, this is just a coincidence, but we all have to get in the Skinner box. Yeah.
Wait, now I'm forgetting what was. He was a behaviorist.
Yes.
But what was the?
He put Schrodinger's.
That was the cat?
He put the
You're mixing genres.
No. He put Schrodinger's cat in his box. Yeah.
I thought the Skinner box had rats in it.
Cats. The cats were there to eat the rats, to catch the rats. How do you not know this? What school? Amherst? And they didn't teach you that B.F. Skinner box had Schrodinger's cat, which was there to eat catch the rats?
But what if the cat was dead? How did he eat the rats?
Well, that's for Schrodinger to answer. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right.
I'm actually listening to an audiobook right now that's about quantum.
Oh, that's rude. We're in the middle of a fucking podcast, Aparna.
Well, I paused it for like the last 2 minutes, but it's about quantum physics, and they did just mention Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
So
how does that play into physics?
Because I guess it's the
idea that
both
something
realities
right.
exist. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's another thing you could quantum physics, string theory.
Do you know? Can you explain string theory to me?
Yeah, it's basically that the universe is made of waves.
Okay.
And you want to catch a tasty wave, and then you'll have a good life. That's pretty much. That's in a nutshell.
So you're saying surfers are really the only ones who are doing it right?
They are the physical manifestation of what we should be doing, how we should be applying ourselves. So when you say we need to catch a good wave, is that sort of that self-help? I think I said a tasty wave.
A tasty wave, is that sort of self-help American dream talk? Like, if you're on the wrong frequency, that's your fault. You can't afford your house.
Kind of. That's a bit. It is in the sense that it's a very simplistic way to look at reality, which is what those people do. They take something and distill it to its most inane kind of, life teaching thing moment.
Do you have advice for catching a tasty wave?
Literally or figuratively?
I guess in the sense you're saying of like
figuratively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say, you want to stop. You want to wake up. You want to make sure that when you wake up, when you regain consciousness,
Wait, why are you not conscious? Why are you
sleeping.
Unconscious? Oh, okay. Okay.
So in order to wake up, you have to be sleeping.
Right,
first.
right.
So you go to sleep.
Okay.
And then so you know how, do you have a bed?
Let me think. Yeah.
Not on you.
I have a bed.
Okay, so you know how when you lie down, usually kind of towards the end of the day, night.
Yeah.
And then,
I don't know. For me, doesn't have to be.
Okay, no, not at all. I'm not saying it does. Some people, work odd jobs. And you lay down, and then kind of the next thing you know, you wake up, and the light is different. And
yes.
Okay, so the thing that's happened in between lying down and then getting back up is sleeping.
Okay.
And that's when you open your eyes and you see your room the way you left it. There's a mess over there. What's that doing there? I didn't know I had a dog, or whatever the thing is that you wake up to, and you're like, oh, so those things changed while you were sleeping.
Right.
You were unconscious.
What if every time you woke up, you said, "I'm not dead"?
Why not? Put it on a poster. It should be the first thing you see. That is partly how you can catch a tasty wave.
Okay.
In life.
Okay.
You wake up, you see, I'm not dead. And for some people, that'd be a bummer. They would hope to. No, they do. People who are despondent and
yes,
and very depressed and
no, it's true, and it's ironic too because a lot of times they have trouble sleeping, and then they finally fall asleep and
then they wake up and like, damn it,
yeah,
I gotta do this shit again. Yeah.
They're not catching tasty waves.
They're not catching tasty waves. They always have it within them. They just need to follow the teachings of Marianne Williamson and do what she says.
I always
donate.
There's an author I think named, you should know this because literature, Mary Lynn Robinson.
Is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah. It has a question mark at the end. Mary Lynn Robinson.
That'd be a fun thing to do, is just legally add a question mark to your name. So when people say it. Okay, and coming up we've got Aparna Nancherla.
That is how most people say my name.
that makes sense because you have a little.
I should
am
just
I saying
add
it
a
right?
question mark at the end. You're right.
Mary Lynn Robinson. And what does she do?
I think she's an author, but I'm just saying I always confuse her with Marianne Williamson.
Oh, so what does the Robinson lady write?
I might be saying the wrong. I think she writes like novels. Like she wrote something like Gilead or something. I don't know. She's like a well-regarded author.
I got you.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of her. So,
but Marianne Williamson is the person who tried to run for president.
Yeah, well, she did run for president.
Yes.
Yeah, she was successful at running for president.
But
she was not successful in becoming president.
Right. But she's all about vibes and...
She's a big vibe lady.
Okay.
Yeah. And doesn't, she's got some interesting, reasonable ideas.
Okay.
But also some that are not reasonable or
Isn't that most of us?
Yeah, but most of us don't run for president.
Yeah, that's true.
You should have firmer, better.
Yeah.
Like your Bernie Sanders or your Elizabeth Warrens.
Yeah. I always think of president as like if you want to run for president, there's already something wrong with you.
I agree. I agree. But also, I remember having mixed feelings about. There was a knock when Bill Clinton was running. They would say his whole motivation was he knew early on he wanted to be president. He was striving from an early age to be president. He was ambitious, and they used it as a knock. And I kind of understand what that means. Meaning, you'll do whatever you can.
Oh, right.
But also, it's not that bad of a. Unlike George W. Bush, who clearly didn't want to be president.
Right.
I distinctly remember watching one of the debates. It was one of the last Republican debates before the primaries. George Bush, clearly, you watch it and clearly did not have any interest, didn't want to be president, was reluctant, and you could tell. He was just, they all said to him, you have to be president. Was he wearing a little hat
with a propeller on it?
He was in the corner. He had a very tall, conical hat with the word "dunce" on it.
Okay.
If I'm pronouncing that correctly.
So I think to be president, the grapes should want you to be president, but you should not want to be president. I think that's the ideal Venn diagram.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I think you should want to be president. And the famous saying that Lincoln said, you can fool some of the grapes all the time.
Yeah.
And you can fool all of the grapes some of the time, but you can't fool all of the grapes all of the time.
That's true. That's true. And that's why Lincoln is still my favorite.
Stinking Lincoln, that's what we called him.
Yeah.
That guy stunk.
Yeah.
Like, wash your ass.
Right. But it's hard because he was a good president.
He was a good president.
But he smelled.
But he smelled bad. He looks like he smelled bad. When you see pictures of Lincoln, I look at him, I go, I bet that guy doesn't smell very good.
But don't you think everyone before 65 smelled bad?
I think that's the exact date, yeah. I want to say it was mid-March, somewhere like March 14th, 1965.
I don't know when deodorant was invented.
You know what? There's a famous quote, and you can use this next time you're playing trivia, from the guy who invented, or I don't know if you invented, but Listerine, the first mouthwash.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't invent mouthwash, I invented bad breath. Meaning he made people self-conscious of their breath.
Their breath.
And I feel like that was kind of a similar thing with deodorant.
No, it's true, because we just smell like, animals.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But
now if you're raised to go, and some people like it. Some people like a funky smell.
Right. But we were like...
Marianne Williamson, I bet, would smell
likes
funky.
a good funk.
Yeah.
She and Lincoln would have hit it off.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're both statuesque. And but Lincoln was not Lincoln was, a lot of people don't know this, and I'm not making a joke here. He was very much the reason he
he didn't
had the Emancipation Proclamation was it was not altruism, it was practicality.
Oh, yes.
So it wasn't like this, wonderful, generous, selfless man who did it. He did it for, reasons that had nothing to do with giving people their freedom.
Right.
Yeah. They probably taught that at Amherst.
Did?
Well, Phony, you've done it again. That is perfect timing.
That was perfect timing.
It was. I have purposely left this on for the last 4 or 5 podcasts because my notification.
It goes off randomly?
No. I got a text. So yeah, I keep it over here. We'll punch that up in the audio. Yeah, and then it chimes in, and Phony comes in sometimes with just the perfect timing.
Amherst, we had? I think when I was there, our mascot was the Lord Jeff, which is literally a guy.
Are you serious?
Yes, Lord Jeffrey Amherst.
Oh, he was the benefactor.
I guess who maybe founded the town. I don't know.
Lord Jeff.
But Jeff
doesn't seem like a royal name.
No.
I guess Jeffrey would.
Nor a mascot.
Were you guys the Fighting Lord Jeffs?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you win anything?
I don't know if we won anything, but they did change the mascot because he was also not good. He handed out smallpox blankets.
Oh, God.
Why is he a mascot?
So, what did the mascot get changed to?
I actually
Please be a Native American.
I don't even know.
with smallpox.
I don't even know. Maybe the grapes. Something like that.
You mean long beans or grapes?
Long beans.
Okay, yeah. The Fighting Amherst long beans.
I guess they are kind of like a long bean.
Or just a bean, not necessarily that long.
That's true.
It really is. I found it very uplifting, and I was very excited when you pointed that out right from the get-go, because it's been an issue since I've been here doing this. And specifically, why are you hiding them? If they're meant to be decorative and make people have a just one tiny aspect of catching a tasty wave in their life.
I thought it was maybe a thought experiment. You know how they're like, if you're in an elevator and everyone is facing one way and one person faces the other way, it like upsets everyone else. It like breaks some sort of social order. So I thought maybe this was like, does this create a sense of unease in the guests that it's in there?
I'm with you. Yeah. Now, can I say that maybe people would get upset at a person standing the opposite way in an elevator, because then you are forcing people to look at you in the eye.
Yeah. I think there's many reasons why they're upset, but
that seems like the biggest one. Like, why are you staring at me in this tiny box?
Well, let's say they're just kind of like listening to music, but they are facing the wrong way. I think people still are like, what's going on? I don't like this.
I don't like even imagining it.
I know. It's stressful.
But I'm the kind of person that will now start doing that just to mess with people. And then be indignant when they say something like, why? What, am I supposed to look this way because everybody else is looking this way? Hey, bud, get off my tasty wave. Right?
I'm sure if you started talking about tasty waves, they would leave you alone.
Well, if they're well-versed in string theory. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the more important the meeting, like the reason you're in the building, the more likely you should stand the wrong way.
Say that again?
Like if you're at a big, like the more important, whatever reason you're in the elevator, the more important the reason is.
Oh, I see.
Then you should really ride that wave, stand the wrong way.
And now I perhaps I'm remiss in this is just lazy thinking, assuming that you mean a 180 degree difference in how you're standing. So you could, if you went 45 degrees and stood
just like
or 90 degrees and stood facing one of the walls, left or right.
I think that still counts.
Would that be as upsetting?
I think so.
I mean,
I'm picturing it,
student.
and I think that people would still be like, what? And
would it be distressing because people are like, why don't you just complete the half a turn and look this way?
I think they're sort of like, why are you
not looking at me?
Yes, or why are you not, following the rules of the group?
Right.
Yeah.
The social construct that we
have very low tolerance for
individualism.
Unpredictability. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why you do this podcast.
Yeah, no, I'm doing this to spread the word.
Yeah. That we're beyond hope.
Well, that was not necessarily the message I'm trying to get out there, but if that's I'm the host, you're the guest, so if that's what you want to put out there, we're beyond hope.
Yeah, I guess I want to plug. I'm not around in 2025, and we're beyond hope.
Okay, and you want to raise kids.
I want to raise kids.
Okay,
yeah. If everyone's okay with those two things, yeah.
Yeah, you wanted just to raise kids for 1 year.
Just for 1 year. I feel like that would be great for me. Maybe not as great for them, but...
Well, great for the parents. Take a little break. Parents,
but I don't know. I was thinking about it, and I was like, if your parents sent you away for a year with no real explanation...
I thought you were moving into the home and raising them. Oh, I see. They're coming to you.
Yeah.
In Pasadena.
Yeah.
Well, Pasadena's got good schools, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't really be given a explanation of what's happening.
Oh, is that part of the deal?
I just feel like how would they understand that? How would I explain it to them?
Well, I don't think it's on you to explain it. I would imagine the parents would.
I guess they can't be too little because I don't know what I'm doing. Let's say 9 and 11.
Okay, 9 and 11. A brother and sister, or they related, or they choose two different kids from two different families?
I'd say related in some way.
Okay. Boy and girl, two boys, two girls?
Open. I'm open.
Okay. And 9 and 11 is, the 11 can the 11-year-old can get lunch and dinner ready for the kid. And as long as they're not like deep frying something, they should be able to make a sandwich okay. And so you get to the point really where you don't even have to be there. You can take off for a week.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe hang with the parents.
Yeah.
Like go to St. Martin or somewhere like that. A nice little vacation, tropical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or go see the Northern Lights. Do the opposite,
My parents just went to see the Northern Lights.
Really? Where?
Yeah. Norway?
Is that one of those countries with a question mark at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Norway?
Norway is a very good place to see them. Were they successful? Because they're not always guaranteed to see them.
I think so, but they sort of gave a bad review.
Really?
Of the Northern Lights.
Boy, what sound like sticklers. What were they looking for, and what did they end up getting?
They said, I guess, that certain light spectrums are actually not visible to the naked eye. So it's like a lot of the photos we see of them is because of the way the photo was taken or the filtered.
No, come on. Really?
Yeah.
No.
You can only see the greens and blues. I think I'm getting the colors right, but apparently the reds and purples are just from
manipulation of the...
Yeah. We can't see them with our...
And so they saw... What were the colors? Green and
blue, I
Green
think.
And blue. And they're like, this is bullshit. Where's the purple?
Yeah.
I came all this way.
Yeah.
Fuck this. There's no purple.
Is such I guess that is the true American dream.
That's on my bucket list, for lack of a better phrase. I definitely, and I've been talking about this for a long time, because I saw a kind of version, a slight version of the Northern Lights when I was with a girlfriend in Door County, Wisconsin, which is pretty far north in Wisconsin. It's in the the top of the
glove.
Little glove, yeah. And we were on by a lake on a beach, and they were just they were like white and they were flying overhead,
Whoa.
wispy, and it was just magical and moving and affected me more than I would have imagined. It was just a cool, stunning, we're so small and insignificant, and this is beautiful, and all this stuff. And I used to get high a lot back then. And
were you high when you saw them?
Maybe. I don't know. I was with their parents on like a vacation, so probably not. But
and their kids were somewhere else.
Yeah, I think with you.
Yeah.
And and then I read about the Northern Lights in one of the Bill Bryson books, if you've ever read any Bill Bryson. I think it's Neither Here Nor There, I want to say.
Okay, I've read A Walk in the Woods.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
We should his books are amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
And they're all, some are kind of travelogues and some are just
I think I've only read the travelogues.
History of the home, home is great. Anyway, I'm a big fan of his, and I'm pretty sure it's Neither Here Nor There. He goes to Hammersfest, Norway, which back then when he wrote it was
it's actually Norway.
Right, it's Hammersfest, Norway.
Yeah,
and then you answer yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and it had at the time more bars per capita than any other place in Europe. And it's very far north.
Yeah.
I think it's in the Arctic Circle.
Yeah.
And, they're known for their display of the Northern Lights.
Okay.
And, but it's not a guarantee. And he takes this really arduous trek there. It takes days. And he has to go by like bus to or train to a bus to like reindeer sled, and it takes days. And he got up there, and he was lucky because they occurred, but there's no guarantee.
Right.
So, do you know where your folks went?
I want to say it was near there. It was like near the Arctic Circle or whatever.
It could be the same place. Hammers. I know it from the book, and I read the book, I don't know, 30 years ago at this point. But
I just can't imagine getting up there and then just ripping on them.
Yeah. You have to be a certain kind of sour person. Because it's even with, the modern amenities and the ability to travel being, much easier than it is and than it was, 30, 40 years ago. It's still a trek.
Yeah.
You still have to go quite out of your way. It's like going to Florida. Like, why the fuck would you go to Florida? Unless there was a specific reason to go. And to go all that way, and it would be like getting to Florida and being disappointed because Florida sucks. When you're like, well, yeah, it sucks. I know that going into it. So, did they find out about the no purples there or before
there, I think.
I see. So
I just imagine my dad like being like, "Is anyone else not getting the purples?"
What would Sherwin-Williams say?
Oh, dang!
Yeah,
Sherwin-Williams would be like, "You're not looking hard enough."
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's a pretty good way to look at it. Maybe the purple is within you,
right? Because he's colorblind. All the colors are in him.
Right.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting about that little fact.
I don't think he wants it out there because it's like, why would you trust a color guy who's colorblind?
Well, he knows that other people know it because his famous phrase that everybody attributes to Sherwin-Williams was, "I'm colorblind, God damn it."
Oh.
That was him who said that. He started that.
I thought he started, "I don't see color." And then that has not had a good
I had a joke, and it never really hit, so I dropped it, but it was a thing about it came as a tag to something about racism or whatever, and it was like, when it comes to race, I'm colorblind. No, wait, what was it? When it comes to race? Oh, when it comes to race, I don't see color. I only see black and white. I think it's a really good, clever joke,
really
but
funny.
It just didn't hit. I did it like 10, 11, 12 times. I was like, it's just not. It sounds kind of shoehorned in there, and it just,
but
I like it.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And then I would say, like, folks, that has been sitting there waiting to be told as a joke for decades. How has nobody else made that joke? And, well, I blew it. I just put it on the podcast, so.
Have you ever had someone quote or, like, tell you about a joke of yours that they like and you can't even remember the joke?
Oh, quite
That
often.
happens to me all the time, and then I'm like, what does that mean about me?
I saw so Bob Odenkirk and I are going to climb Machu Picchu.
You are?
In the later in the spring, and that came first, and then afterwards, but also almost immediately afterwards, we were like, oh, we should film this, we should shoot it.
Yeah.
So we've been working with this production company, and they put together this little teaser thing to show people.
Sizzle
reel. Thank you. To remind people who we are and what we've done. And they have a clip. It's clearly Mr. Show. And I have no idea. It's a quick clip where it looks like something exploded and Bob's all like almost cartoonishly, like his hair is up and like an exploding cigar thing. When you see the animated, like half of my face is all bloody and stuff, and our clothes are ripped, and we have this like little. It's brief. It's 5 seconds long, and I have zero idea what that is. None. Zero.
Was your memory jogged, and then you remembered?
No, I still don't know.
Wow.
I'll have to ask where that came from, and they had access to it. They obviously got it off of YouTube or something.
Does that make you feel unsettled that you don't remember?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, the joke thing is easier to understand because that's what we do constantly is write jokes.
Yeah.
Whether we tell them or not, it's in our head. It's how we've, for better or worse, trained ourselves to look at things, and that's part of our job. And at this point, we've done so much of it. If I don't remember a joke, it's like that's. And a joke is what? Anywhere from like 5 seconds to a minute.
True. Yeah.
And at this point, you've created, 1 million seconds worth of jokes. So if you don't remember something, I'm glad and thrilled that it hit and resonated and somebody remembers it from whatever 20 years ago, but I don't remember,
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Well, you had multiple, specials and albums. I've had one album and I don't remember anything.
Well, maybe you should be eating more fish. It's a brain food, fish oil, omega-3s. Aparna, get yourself some omega-3s.
Is that what helps you remember stuff?
Brain food. Fish.
Is that what you put in your fish tank for your?
I feed them. Yeah, they're cannibals. I feed them other fish.
Cannibalism is having a moment, don't you think?
It definitely is. Well, Army Hammer, thanks to him, right?
The Yellow Jackets?
I don't.
Okay,
Spoiler
it's a
alert.
show.
Spoiler alert?
Well, yeah, I don't know. It seems like they make it pretty obvious that.
Do they? I have not seen it. I've heard
it's
good
like
things.
one of those stranded, soccer teams stranded in the wilderness.
Oh, based on the Andes?
I think it's based on nothing.
That's heavy.
Based on imagination.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
It's not based on a real thing,
But maybe,
what
loosely.
if?
Yeah.
And it's all chicks, right?
All chicks.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to watch it.
I think
thank you.
There's like two.
My period this, my period that.
Periods. That's what it is. That's the whole show.
I'm iron deficient. Well, all right.
All female reboots.
How do you feel about the female reboots of things that were, intellectual property of men?
Well, I'm not. I guess I'm not so mad I can't speak.
Oh, I'm.
That feels like a lot of people's reaction.
When I read about the Ghostbusters being remade with women, I was furious.
Were you really?
Oh fuck, man! I was so angry. I had to check myself into rehab,
What?
and yeah, I was livid. ended up.
Is that when all the rehab centers were overbooked?
Yes, that's exactly right. I'm not the only guy who went through this, and because I checked myself into rehab, but they, as you mentioned, they were full up, and I did the next best thing. I was so angry, and I was like, I have to deal with this. How do I deal with my anger and just despondency? And there's no hope for the future, and people were going, yeah, but they're really talented women. These are great comedic actresses. This should be good. Well, fuck that. Just the idea of it. And so I dug a hole 127 feet deep, lined it with concrete and faux fur, and then covered it.
Say pho. The Vietnamese
like
soup.
Vietnamese soup with noodles and the beanpole sprouts.
Yeah, those
the
are great.
crunchy guys.
Yeah.
It was mostly the crunchy guys. Some lime, and a little bit of cilantro. Not a lot. I don't want to overdo it. But again, it was 127 feet deep, so it's a lot of pho and fur. So it's pho
and
fur, which is Vietnamese soup that is, very delicious broth and the shaved beef. I'm so sorry you can't enjoy it. And then a lot of veggies, and then fur. And so I just filled it with that and took a dip, as it were.
Okay.
Covered it.
Okay.
And, didn't emerge much like the cicadas for 17 years.
17 years since you heard the news?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's like, don't tell David Blaine.
Okay.
Isn't he always trying to do those sorts of things? He's like, I'm in a box for a year. Tell your friends.
I'm in a box for a year. Tell your friends. David Blaine's latest. Oh, phony. You said it. Yeah. I'm in a box for a year. Tell your friends. The latest David Blaine. Oh, man.
17 years, though.
I met David Blaine at a party.
Did?
Yeah. I didn't know he was going to be there. I went to this party in New York, and it was at a brownstone in the village. And not like the double wide big ones, but kind of tighter. But it was like 4 or 5 floors. But, like tight. So they had this, there was a stairwell, that was, just to say that it was kind of tight on the stairwell. It wasn't a big, and it, turned. It was curvy. And I was either going up or coming down the stairs, and he was there. And I don't know if somebody introduced me or whatever. He introduced, I don't remember, but I do remember him without any... It was just like, this is what he does. When he meets somebody, pulled out a deck of cards. Oh. Just pulled out a deck of cards. Yeah. And was like, and did an amazing
trick.
Sleight of hand trick. It was amazing, but it was just weird. Like, we weren't even like, hi, David, this is David, da-da-da. And it was just like...
that was his language.
That was his language.
Whoa.
I remember that really... it was just odd. It wasn't bad or anything. It was just kind of like, oh, okay.
Well, that's how I first remember knowing about him, is he did sleight of hand and card tricks. Yeah. And then I was like, when did he pivot so hard?
Yeah, to like performance art type of...
And do you think his agent was like, David, no.
Well, remember the London? He was in a box and a cube, a see-through cube.
Something like that.
And then he, wasn't there a thing where he was on some ice in Times Square?
Yeah, it's all stuff like
I'm going to be in a box for a year. Tell your friends. Hey, do you guys want to check out? You guys want to go down and wave to David? He can't hear you, but he's in the box. All right. Well, let's get the calendar out. Maybe a week from Tuesday. He's there all year, so we could do it in end of summer, around August-ish.
My thing is, if you're doing something like that, what are you, how are you occupying your mind?
Yeah, good question.
What do you think he thinks about?
Is this a mistake? What am I doing? What am I saying? Is there a way to monetize this?
That would be so funny if he was in a box for a year and it was just him putting out nonstop TikToks. David,
or you
I'm
just
in the box
forgot.
again.
Everybody forgot, and there's nobody there. But the box is underground, and we've gone through Armageddon, and then he emerges like, what did I miss? All right, Aparna. So I end every episode by asking you a question from my daughter.
Okay.
This is a legit question.
Okay.
I asked her to come up with questions, ask my guests. All right. So why does it always itch when you have a new boo-boo?
Oh.
Why does it always itch when you have a new boo-boo?
I think because the new cell growth.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell me. Tell her.
Okay, Marlo. So when you hurt yourself, your skin gets damaged and it needs to rebuild itself. And when it's rebuilding itself, it's sort of in a growth phase. And sometimes when you're in a growth phase, you get a little itchy because there's a lot of new things happening. And so that's why.
Okay. Do you have anything to plug that you want to?
Oh, for reals?
Yeah. I mean, why not?
I don't know. Plugs.
You don't have to.
Plugs. What can I plug? I want to plug something that's non-industry related.
Okay.
I'm going to plug when somebody at a party ends the conversation for you guys, for both of you. They say, "Well, that's about it," and then they go away instead of letting it die.
I like that.
Yeah.
Or do you do that? Do you practice that?
No, I want to be one of those people because I'm the one who lingers. I can't even leave a party without tagging on to someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
You won't leave by yourself.
No.
You leave with a group.
I'll just kind of tail a group that's already leaving.
Do you go like, "Hey, wait up," and pretend like you know them, and then
not even?
No.
I just pretend to be part of their group.
Do you insert yourself in the conversation? Or?
No. I just use them as a ticket out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you should try the. Wait, what did you just say?
Well, that's about it.
That's about it. I'm going to have to start doing that. Just talking to people and leaving with, maybe leave as you say it. Well, that's about it. And trail off. All right, Aparna, thank you so much for coming down.
Me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a Headgum podcast.